but what I did was I communicated a lot about the science and the research and why we were doing the things that we were doing. And then I also solicited um, like questions or feedback or suggestions constantly. So, like the CEA, the union, I met with them regularly, and there were some points that we agreed on, some we didn't, but I always, if their feedback was feedback that was good feedback, we adopted it. I always tell them, you made our plan better. There were a couple of things that I couldn't agree with them on, like they wanted to do testing of, staff and students, but the health department was telling us it's a false sense of security, right? It's not the place to do investment. Just have people stay home if they're sick, and really do strong contact tracing. So they had at the beginning of the year, they had all of the unions in the state had rated their school districts on a report card based on the practices that they wanted us to adopt. And we didn't come out as strong on that, but I disagreed with them on whether or not they were right on what should be there on a couple of those. But we did start the school year agreeing to start the school year with the practices we had in place. And it's just been a really strong relationship. I realized too, like with all of that fear, that I needed to personally be communicating and listening. So I started doing a Zoom brief every week to say, this is what's going on. This is where the numbers are in the community. This is what the health department's telling us, and answering any questions that I was hearing repeatedly to the whole staff. Like I just sent out a Zoom invitation to the whole district. And I would just be there and I'd run through the things I wanted to share and then leave it open for any questions and answer on the spot as much as I could. And if I didn't know, I'd say, I don't know. And I said, we'll come back to it next week. And then with both the staff and the parents too, I was sending out emails every week, just like, this is the context, these are the numbers, this is what we're doing, this is why this is important. And the community and the teachers have been very supportive through the whole year. So I think right now at this point of the year, everybody's proud. Once the school year started, the teachers actually asked me to keep up the Zoom briefs monthly. So I've been doing them monthly throughout the school year, and it has been really helpful. And then we have this moment right now where, before I even came on, there was a structural deficit and an operating referendum, and we had a problem to fix with our budget. And we had a whole bunch of retirements and moves this year. And so we're kind of in this moment where it's the perfect moment to merge a school or do something like that. And so those same strategies are really helping. I'm answering their questions on the Zoom brief. I'm sharing information. I'm sharing information with the parents and the community. And even as we're having discussions about possibly closing or merging a school, or like doing something radically different with our portfolio of schools, there's been almost nobody at the board meetings because they're not unhappy. They're with us in it because it's that constant communication. They know what's going on. And so it was really like, I had to schedule regular conversations, and I had to learn for myself too to be a proactive communicator. I tend to be a responsive communicator, but in the case of the board, I had to schedule into my calendar to contact each board member every week, because when I wasn't being proactive, they didn't feel like I was communicating enough. And so it's something that I've had to, like, I'm somebody, I'll drop everything and be responsive, but to actually be planful about that was really important in this context.